Hello, everyone, and good afternoon to this meeting of the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues. Um, my name is Zach Damon. I'm so excited to have all of you on with us this afternoon. So I'm calling this meeting to order here, and we'll go ahead and start with roll call. Just so you know, Kennedy is going to go around. She will call your name verbally, and if you are present, if you could then unmute, state your name, state your position, and where you are coming from today, that would be great. Kennedy?
Okay, so for roll call, Chair Zach Damon.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Damon. I'm the chairman of the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues. I'm coming to you from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Washtenaw County. Just wanted to make sure, Kennedy, do we have closed captions on?
I can turn them on, yes.
Thank you. That would be great.
Okay, Vice Chair Keeler.
Larry Keeler, Ward 5, Ann Arbor.
Thank you. Commissioner Mozak.
Good afternoon, Kathleen Mozak calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Hello, Kathleen. Commissioner Solomon.
Matthew Solomon, Commissioner, First Ward, Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, USA.
Thank you. Commissioner Hawkins. Not here. Okay. Commissioner Poster. Not here. Commissioner Gossage would not be here today. Commissioner Radcliffe.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Ratcliffe, calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. And Councilmember Godwin Edwin.
Hi, everyone. This is Councilmember Ghazi Edwin calling in from Ann Arbor.
Thank you. Did we announce the new commissioners as well? Sorry, Kennedy, I didn't hear them in the roll call.
Oh, I am so sorry. Commissioner Chambers.
Hello, I'm Elena Chambers calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And Commissioner Packard.
Yes, hello, Commissioner Packard, coming from the Ypsilanti area.
Thank you.
All right. So roll call is complete. Thank you. Moving on to public comment. Do we have anyone on the line for public comment today?
At this time, we have no one on the line for public comment.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kennedy. So first, since we move forward to the approval of agenda, I would like I just wanted to mention just on the line to everyone, council member does have to leave early, so I was hoping to make a quick adjustment to the agenda today, if that's okay with everyone. I would like to move the council presentation of council member Edwin up on the agenda because they have to leave early. So I would like to have a motion to move that up, if possible.
I move that we move Councilwoman Edwin up on the agenda so she can get done and be on her way.
Yes, thank you. I would like to move it up as the first presentation today, if possible. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner
Ratcliffe. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Commissioner Ratcliffe seconds. All in favor of moving up the council liaison report to the first presentation today, please unmute and say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you very much, you guys. I do appreciate it. Okay. So now that we have a new agenda. I'd like to now move to approve today's adjusted agenda. So is there a motion to approve today's updated agenda?
This is Kathleen. I
I'll
will
move to,
approve
oh, go ahead, Ken.
the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathleen. I do appreciate that. So Kathleen has moved to approve. Larry has seconded. All in favor of approving the adjusted agenda for today, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you all.
Aye.
I do appreciate that. Okay. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from September. That has been included here within our agenda, which has been sent out to anyone. I just wanted to open it to approval, or if anyone had any questions, edits, or anything like that from the September meeting minutes, you can speak about that now, or is there a motion to approve the minutes from September? Okay, I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
I move to approve the minutes from September.
Okay, I will second that. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from September, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Next, I wanted to just do a quick introduction before our special presentations. I wanted to have a new commission candidate do an introduction, and I wanted to welcome them. I know our recruitment committee and our recruitment chair had an opportunity to speak with this community member and review their application. So at this point, I wanted to open the floor for a couple of minutes to Miss Sonia Schmerl. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, if you could just give us a brief statement of, again, why you've applied to the commission, what your motivation is to help the commission, and if you were to be approved, what you hope to do on the commission.
Thanks. I applied to the commission because I've had a progressive disability, and at this point, I'm pretty much in a wheelchair when I leave the home, and it got me interested in challenges that other people face. I'm interested in exploring ways that we could improve access in the city of Ann Arbor, and helping in any way I can. And I'm interested to hear what people with other disabilities face.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. At this time, Ms. Schmel, you do not have to stick on for the full meeting. I just wanted you to introduce yourself to the full commission. Again, talk about your background, what you did, and your motivation. So at this point, you are free to go. Kennedy, go ahead. You had your hand
Yes,
up.
before you go, I think it'd be nice to open the floor up to the commissioners if they want to ask any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Kennedy. Did any commissioners have any questions for Sonia at this time? Kathleen?
I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to expand on what Zach just said and say, I would welcome you to stay if you'd like to see how we conduct our business. I suppose I have a question. How long have you been in the Ann Arbor area? And you mentioned that you had a recent change in mobility issues, and in your struggles being a wheelchair user outside of the home, I think that that's going to bring a wealth of knowledge to our commission and help us out. But I'm wondering if you could expand a little bit on some of the challenges that you have directly faced.
Sure. And I'm happy to stay for the rest of the meeting. I'm interested I've got the agenda up and I'm interested in how you do business. Thank you. Yeah, I have a progressive spastic ataxia. So I have gradually lost balance. I still do use a walker inside my home, but to travel any distance, I need a wheelchair. And so I've progressed to more and more stable walkers, and I'm hoping to have a power chair soon. And it's really interesting experiencing society and the environment from a wheelchair. I don't think anyone really understands what it's like until they're there. The way people interact with you and the barriers that I find that are if anyone had experienced these barriers, they wouldn't put them up. Sometimes it's egregious the way businesses alter the environment, where sometimes there's a ramp and they have put a decoration in the ramp so that the ramp is obstructed. So I've been very interested in that, and possibly raising awareness in the building community and the service community and restaurants and establishments like that, to just make them aware of how many barriers there are, and to please not add more. Let's see. I guess I'll wait for any other questions.
Any other questions for Sonia at this time?
Just thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, and I would like to mention, though, just to piggyback off of, the observation, that's completely fine. But if we did vote today, we would have to have Sonia, you as the candidate, off the call, so that we can conduct that vote. So,
Sure. Just let me know.
you're welcome.
Okay.
All right. All righty. Thank you. So now I'd like to move to the special presentations portion of our agenda today, and move to our council liaison, council member Edwin, for the city council update.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. And thanks for your willingness to move me to the start of the agenda. I've just been feeling under the weather and it's kind of getting worse. So I appreciate it. And I may actually have to log off a little bit early because I just feel like my head is, when your sinuses are all blocked up, bowling ball head kind of thing. But I want to start off and say that I talked at the Disability Network's event this morning. Kathleen Mozak was there, and also our new commissioner, I think his name is Rob. Yes, Rob Packard was there. And it was a really great conversation about the need for more accessible, affordable housing in our city and just generally in the nation. So it was a really good discussion. And one of the things I mentioned there that I'd like to share with all of you is my organization, Detroit Disability Power, helped to create a list of all properties in Detroit, all rental properties, and how accessible they are. And it's open to all different housing providers. It's open to anyone. It's called Detroit Home Connect. And I've been speaking to Jennifer Hall, the executive director of Ann Arbor Housing Commission, about how do we do that here. And one of the important things she raised is, how will we include property in the private sector? How will we compel landlords to report accessibility? So it's something that we're going to continue talking about. I'm going to have an internal meeting with some city staff, and then hopefully also eventually involve some of the nonprofit organizations that actually provide these housing placement services. Kathleen, is there anything that you want to add to the conversation about the talk this morning? Or Rob?
I thought it was a really important conversation. I don't know if it was recorded. Decal from the Disability Network of Washington, Macomb, and Livingston is the one who put it on. If it is available, perhaps Aisha, we could ask them if they could share it with the commission to be able to watch. One of the things I was going to bring up during new business is we discussed how Ann Arbor, well, it happens in most communities, but here in Ann Arbor, we're very siloed in terms of how we house our information about disability. So that was also a very important conversation. It's important to note there were over 45 people in attendance. So that also gives me hope on this discussion about housing and the disability community.
Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. Rob, do you want to share anything as well about this morning?
Forward. Can you hear me okay?
Now we can, Rob. You broke up
Oh,
at the beginning, so if you could restart your statement.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, it really was a great conversation. Some great ideas came forward, and I love the idea of finding ways to help people discover accessible housing, the confusion of how to find places that are close to public transit and things like that. So I think it was just a great step forward in breaking through those barriers, like you said.
Thank you, Rob. And I think one of the things that I didn't get to say, but I hope that whenever we talk about affordable housing, always using the word accessible with it, right? All affordable housing should be accessible, but then also remembering that people with disabilities deserve housing at all different price points. You shouldn't have to live in poverty to get accessible housing.
Right.
So it was a really good discussion. And I'll keep you all updated as I continue to work on that list. So today was first day of it may not have been technically the first day, but we do have a new accessibility coordinator. And she was in attendance at the meeting this morning, which was amazing. And I look forward to working with her. And, I think one idea that I had previously that I really want to talk to the city about is, can we have some sort of disability? I'm sorry, that's my son who just went back from school. Anyway, and we're watching Cocomelon. Hey, Noah, please. I am on the phone. So, I frequently hear policies come out of transportation or planning, and they're good policies, but how do we make sure that there's a disability perspective always present? And I know that, the new coordinator can't be everywhere at once all the time, but maybe we could have some sort of internal disability champion, just some sort of internal training and education program. Maybe we call it disability champions. And we always make sure one member of every commission has some knowledge and background in disability, but also can alert CODI when, I don't know, a new development or sidewalks or something is being discussed where we should have a say. Instead of us being reactive, we can be a little bit more proactive. So I'm going to talk to Laura about that.
Yeah, council member, I think that's a great idea, the disability champion, and being able to directly, be in contact with our accessibility coordinator, who I do see is on the line, hearing our meeting today. So awesome.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm sorry,
We're so excited.
Yeah, it is. So sorry,
So excited I have.
we just had a couple of questions. Based upon your information. So I'll go to Kathleen first, and then I'll call on Commissioner Packard. So Kathleen.
I just wanted to, mine is more of a procedural question. So we've acknowledged that Tracy is on the line with us, and I'm wondering, Zach, were you going to talk more about that during your report at the end, or are we going to take the opportunity to actually formally introduce her? However you want to do it, but I'm not seeing it on the agenda.
Yes, great question. And I was actually going to be reporting on that during my chair report. So I hope that's all right. And then, I guess now that it's already out of the bag, I was hoping that Ms. Bird could also give a couple of remarks if she's comfortable with that. So, but that was my big update for the chair report. So I will be expanding on that and the process that went forth in selection, and then hopefully Ms. Bird can say a few words. So hopefully that answers your question, Kathleen. Okay. Commissioner Packard.
Yes, I just wanted to add a quick comment that one of the, I think, issues that came out of the meeting was just sorting through the confusion of who to call, where to go. I think that some with disabilities have trouble using computers and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think that an easy to access list, like we talked about, is a great idea. And anything that we can do to make it easier for people searching for housing to find the resources quickly without going through months of confusion. And another population that was mentioned is the homeless, and how do we reach out, find ways to get them who are chronically homeless, especially, to help them get out of that situation and into housing. Just another good point I just wanted to mention from the meeting. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner
Yeah,
Packard.
that was a great.
Oh, go ahead,
great-
council member.
Oh, I was just going to say that was a great point. Thanks for mentioning that. And just like the accessibility coordinator process took place, I will. You all will be helping me develop this list, and I will use you as a sounding board as this is being developed. First, I do want to bring it to internal city staff and see about feasibility, but I'll keep you all updated. If I could I'm just getting back to my notes. Oh, there was an email that was sent out by you at the last CODI meeting. You all expressed some concerns and questions about the use of sidewalks and overall bicycling infrastructure and mobility infrastructure, and how sometimes people don't really know how to share the path accessibly, right? And is there any education happening in the city around that? I reached out to Raymond Hess, who's the head of transportation, with that question. And then at our city council meeting, our last one, we had a resident come and talk about sidewalk gaps that are accessibility concerns, as all sidewalk gaps are, but specifically a few sidewalks in the city which turn into stairs. And this has been covered actually in an article by MLive in 2017. But those are grave accessibility concerns. So I posed those questions to Raymond Hess, and he did respond with some answers. I did ask if he could be here today, but he was not available. The director of public works, Brian Steglitz, has said that if we would like, one of the staff from transportation or roads to come to our next meeting, just let them know as soon as possible so they have time to prepare. And I think based upon what we've all talked about, it would be helpful, correct? Okay.
Council member, I believe it would be helpful for them to attend, just to for them to reiterate again their report, which they bring that along and providing that information. But then also, if there are any other commissioners that need additional clarity, I think it would provide an opportunity to do that as well.
Yes. Yep. Thank you for that. And essentially some of the things that Raymond wrote, and I've asked Kennedy to circulate an email, but actually, Kennedy, if you could hold on that email, I'm just going to make sure.
I was actually going to email you back and let you know that city staff response was added to the agenda for this
Okay.
week. So it is actually under the file for the sidewalk accessibility issue of the
Thank you.
agenda.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. So it should be in your agenda. But one thing I will say that I noticed in the response is essentially, if bikes are in the pathway and sidewalk, report it to you to fix it. Sidewalk gaps, they are prioritized based upon a matrix that was developed by city staff that includes a variety of different variables. I didn't see accessibility mentioned. I mean, I'm sure, ADA compliance is taken into account, but accessibility. So really going above and beyond ADA and just thinking about, people with mobility disabilities, will they not be able to get across this area? And if the answer is yes, then it should be elevated in prioritization. That is something I'm going to ask Raymond about. And then he responded that the sidewalks which turn to stairs, they're working on it. They are expensive to fix. And they have identified one or two that can be added to the capital improvements funding. So it's a larger pot of money that will help to cover the redo of that sidewalk. Does anyone have any additional questions about his email?
Council member, this is Zach. I don't have any additional questions at this time. I did review it, and I was grateful that they gave, a thoughtful response, and thank you for bringing it to their attention.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that we can encourage them to have, I would say, more adequate warning. I mean, just having a sign, in my opinion, is not sufficient in terms of something as hazardous as that. So I hope we can just bring that to their attention and then look at possible solutions.
Yeah, that's a good. So you're talking about the sidewalk that turns into stairs?
Yes, correct.
More than the signs as warning. I'll note that down. And I think, the other things we can do is between now and our next meeting, which I believe is in December, correct? Is that right?
I'll have to look at the date. Pardon me. I don't have.
Our next meeting is in November.
Yes.
Okay, it is in November. So I think that we should formally invite Raymond, and I'll ask. And I think between now and the next meeting, we should review the email and any other questions that you have for Raymond about sidewalk safety, about infrastructure, about anything. Note them down, but also please send them to me because I know Raymond would appreciate having the questions in advance so he can prepare adequately.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, please send me the questions that you'd like him to address, and I'll extend an invitation to our next meeting.
Sure. And council member, just to clarify, is it okay if they, send the questions to myself or Kennedy, the commissioner?
Yeah, you can. Why don't you go ahead and send them to both Zach and Kennedy, and then Kennedy, maybe you could help to just compile a list, and then I will reach out to Raymond with the complete list once it's compiled.
That's good.
Thank you, Kennedy. I appreciate that. And yeah, and I will though invite him now, and I'll just let him know the questions are forthcoming. That's it for me for this report. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Vice Chair Keeler has his hands up.
Oh yeah. Hi, Larry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I somehow always get ignored when I put my hand up, but thank you.
Sorry.
I have another. I'll probably be talking to them this evening anyway.
Okay.
So when it comes around to it, if you have anything that you want me to address in our little commission report, I can do that. But one of the thoughts I had was that maybe if there's stairs they can't take out immediately, put oh man, I forget what they're called, and I should know this. The strip, the bumpy strip that they put at the curb.
Yeah.
So you can feel it up underneath your feet and your cane. so that when you feel that, there's something coming up. You might not know if it's a road or a stair, but you usually feel it coming, and you go, "Ooh, there's something there I got to look for." So maybe some kind of tactile bubble device, or I can't remember what they call them things. No, and I should know. But something like that, as well as maybe for those who can see somewhat, maybe a bright, maybe a yellow line or something before that too. That wouldn't help me, but the I think of them as rumble strips, because they're rumble strips when they're in the street, but there's something else when they're on the curb.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
The formal name for anything tonight.
I don't know exactly, but Larry, I think that's a fantastic suggestion. And maybe you should, when you attend the commission meeting tonight, tell Raymond that we're both extending an invitation for him to attend our next meeting, but also something that jumped out to us was there needs to be more warning in regards to the sidewalk that turned to stairs, and it has to be both visual, sensory, so that it accommodates to different type of disabilities.
Well, I've been one that when I moved into the city, I found a few of them stairs. I remember one time we were going through U of M's campus, which probably isn't under this anyway, but we're just going along, and all of a sudden I went, "Wow!" And my friend said, What's going on? I said, "I just went down a flight of stairs." And he said, "Well, how many are there?" I said, "I don't know. I didn't hit any of them." So I do know that nobody got hurt. It was a funny incident, but
well, Commissioner,
I know that's an issue.
Yeah, Commissioner, this is Zach Damon, and I just want to say that is one of the things that I really appreciate about you, is your ability for humor in a situation of struggle. But I will tell you that also could have been a very, very hazardous situation. So just thank you for bringing.
Of course.
Yeah, just thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I agree with Council Member that your suggestions, I think, are very, very informative, and I think should be mentioned. Absolutely.
Yep. So action item is, please everyone compile your questions or send them to Zach and Kennedy and just issues in general. What would you like the city to discuss and share with you at our next meeting when it's related to sidewalk infrastructure, how we get around the city as people with disabilities, and what could be improved? With that, I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna do steaming so I can unblock my nose. But thanks everyone.
Sure, thank you,
and feel free to reach.
Yeah, get well soon.
All right,
Council Member. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good evening. Bye-bye.
All right. With that, I'd like to move on to our next special presentation. So Katie is traveling right now. So we have Jackie Best from the Washtenaw Library for the blind and physically disabled to give us that update. So please, everyone, welcome Jackie in. And Jackie, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. I've got 2 exciting events happening in the next month to tell you about. The first event is an author event, Karen Dybus, Detroit Style Pizza, a Doughtown History. This event is happening on Saturday, October 28th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. in the Downtown Library 4th floor meeting room. And this is a partnership with Martin Van Dyke, longtime host of the Morning Drive on Ann Arbor's 1071, who will be in conversation with Karen Dybus about her new book, Detroit Style Pizza, a Doughtown History. With its airy crust, cheesy corners, and distinctive red sauce on top, Detroit Style Pizza is enjoyed worldwide. Travel with author Karen Dybus through the pizza's humble origins, starting with Gus Guerra putting the first square pie in Buddy's oven, to the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, where a pizza evangelist spreads the word about Detroit style through the waves of chefs who have put their spin on this unique pizza style. With in-depth research and storytelling, Dibus takes you into the kitchens that developed, fought over, and sought to perfect this delectable dish that put Detroit up there with New York, Chicago, and New Haven when it comes to pizza. And again, that's on Saturday, October 28th from 2 to 3:30 in the downtown library 4th floor meeting room. And then on Monday, October 30th from 6:30 to 7:30, we have a special voting rights event on new voting rights in Michigan. This event, we will be providing a live stream, and we intend to make it available for future viewing. We'll also have a video player, which will appear on our website 1 hour before the event starts. This event is in the West Side Room at the Westgate Library. Recent Michigan law changes have expanded voting times, places, and methods in 2024. Learn about these newly expanded voters' rights and get your questions answered by a speaker from the League of Women Voters, Washtenaw County, a nonpartisan organization devoted to defending democracy and supporting voters. This event is in partnership with the League of Women Voters, Washtenaw County. So those are two events we have coming up in the next few weeks. For materials, WLBPD patrons can order digital cartridges by calling 734-327-4224 or emailing wlbpd@aadl.org. And to sign up for the Braille and Audio Reading Service, or BARD, to download your own books, you can visit nlsbard.loc.gov or call us and we can assist with the application. And two exciting new books that we've recently added to the BARD collection. The first of these is Funny You Don't Look Autistic, A Comedian's Guide to Life on the Spectrum by Michael McCreary. Like many others on the autism spectrum, 20-something stand-up comic Michael McCreary has been told by more than a few well-meaning folks that he doesn't look autistic. But he's quick to point out in this memoir, autism looks different for just about everyone with autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD. Diagnosed with ASD at age 5, McCreary got hit with the performance bug not much later. During a difficult time in junior high, he started journaling, eventually turning his pain into something empowering and funny. He scored his first stand-up gig at age 14 and hasn't looked back. This unique and hilarious memoir breaks down what it's like to live with autism for readers on and off the spectrum. Funny You Don't Look Autistic is an invaluable and compelling read for young readers with ASD looking for voices to relate to, as well as for readers hoping to broaden their understanding of ASD. And finally, our other recent addition to BARD is A Visible Man, a memoir by Edward Enninful. When Edward Enninful became the first Black editor-in-chief of British Vogue, few in the world of fashion wanted to confront how it failed to represent the world we live in. But Edward, a champion of inclusion throughout his life, rapidly changed that. Now, whether it's putting first responders, octogenarians, or civil rights activists on the cover of Vogue, or championing designers and photographers of color, Edward has cemented his status as one of the world's most important changemakers. A Visible Man traces an astonishing journey into one of the world's most exclusive industries. Edward candidly shares how, as a Black, gay, working-class refugee, he found in fashion not only a home, but the freedom to share with people the world as he saw it. Written with style, grace, and heart, A Visible Man shines a spotlight on the career of one of the greatest creative minds of our times. It is the story of a visionary who changed not only an industry, but how we understand beauty. And that was provided by the publisher. And does anyone have any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Jackie. Just so much going on within the library and all of the good things that that you guys are doing, and very excited for that event. Knowing your voting rights. So that's just to clarify. That's Tuesday, October 17th, correct?
That's Monday, October 30th.
Oh,
It's 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. In the Westgate Library. Yep.
got it. Monday, October 30th. Okay.
Yes, thank you for double checking.
Sure.
Monday, October 30th, 6:30 to 7:30. And we are planning to live stream that event, barring any complications. And we expect to make it available for future viewing. So available for viewing after the event takes place. And if you're interested in watching it, what you can do is visit aadl.org events. So that's aadl.org/events. Go to the calendar page, the calendar view on that page, click on the day's date, and then scroll down below the description of the event. And there will be a video player that appears 1 hour before the event begins. So on the day of the event, just scroll below the description on the event link itself. And that's where the live stream will begin to appear 1 hour before the event takes place. So if you go and look for it before 1 hour before the event, you won't see anything there. So don't worry. I promise it'll show up there. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. And just to clarify for viewers, are people able to come to this October 30th event in person, or is it virtual only?
Absolutely. Nope, it's in person as well. It's just at the Westgate Library from 6:30 to 7:30. But if you're concerned about parking or any reason that you would prefer to stay home, you're absolutely welcome to view it remotely.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. And
Thanks.
Thank you to Katie. Safe travels, Katie, wherever you are. Absolutely.
Yes. I'm so glad she's off to enjoy a vacation.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Next, we have the Disability Network Washtenaw, Monroe, and Livingston report with Andrea Henry. Do we have anyone on from Disability Network today, Kennedy?
It looks like we do not.
All right.
So I will put in the minutes that there is no report.
Thank you. Okay. Next, I just wasn't sure. First of all, we have the PIA report as well as community engagement. But as far as the Partner and Access Committee is concerned, first of all, I wanted to just apologize. I guess there was some confusion at the last meeting as to when the meeting was. And then, I guess I don't want to divulge any personal information publicly, but I know our chairman of that subcommittee did let Kennedy, and I know that they are no longer able to chair the Partners in Access subcommittee, which mainly deals with, physical access barriers, issues that are presented within our city. And what Partners in Access does is they convene as a subcommittee to, come up with solutions to some of those physical access barriers that arise. And so, I just want to put out a feeler to our commissioners here today that if there is anyone that is interested in being in chairing that subcommittee of Partners in Access, please feel free to let Kennedy or myself know that you are interested, and then we can, go about hopefully getting you looped in with Commissioner Gossage, who is going to be, stepping down from that role. But hopefully they can, give you a little bit of background into what that position would entail. And please note that I will be an open book for you as well. So, happy to answer any questions that you may have about chairing the Partners in Access subcommittee. But again, just want to note for the record that Commissioner Gossage will be stepping down as chairman of Partners in Access. So we do need a new chairman of that subcommittee.
Hello, I'd like to speak, please.
Sure, yes, Larry, go ahead.
Well, the hand raising doesn't always work with my phone, and it takes a minute. So that's why I don't do it. I do apologize because sometimes I sound like I'm interrupting or interjecting when I shouldn't, but the hand raising feature on my phone for some reason doesn't work. I got one of those old flip phones. But I would be willing to, in the interim, chair that committee. But I don't want to keep it because I got enough things going on right now. But I will temporarily. I can temporarily chair that until we get hopefully another commissioner or two on there that would be willing to do that. And I would like to. I didn't get the email to that. I didn't get the the access code and all that to that, and I went and got busy. I'd like to I don't necessarily need to change the time, but I'd like to work on changing the day for that eventually as well to Monday, Tuesday, or Monday or Tuesday would work better for me, but that would be up to the people on the committee. And that's what I would like to do. But like I said, I would interim chair this meeting.
Okay. So thank you, Larry. I just want to clarify and summarize what you had said. So number one, you're willing to step in as chairman temporarily for this Partners in Access subcommittee. But then you would also in the future like to explore changing the date of that particular meeting, correct?
Yeah, because because I do things I very often do things on Wednesdays, and if I didn't see that meeting thing come up,
sure,
I just kept doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Noted. And I do, I apologize for you not getting that information. But I will do a better job of, making sure that you have what you need going forward.
And I'd like to also say that I don't think I want to see this committee fall apart, because we definitely need it. It's a definitely useful committee to have happen. We don't want it to fall apart.
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, physical access barriers are very important. We want to make sure that, for instance, if sidewalks or if curb cuts or, different physical infrastructure type of things are deteriorating in our community, that Partners in Access is right there to be able to, put that on the forefront of the commission's mind, and then ultimately to our council liaison as well, to be able to put that forward to city council and make them aware of it as well. So thank you, Larry. I do appreciate the efforts that you and the PIA have done thus far. And I do want to, again, just lastly apologize for the lag in communication. I understand that Kathleen, you are also on that meeting, as well as Ms. Bird, our new accessibility coordinator. So to all of you, I hope that we can refine that process and there is no more lags in that. But thank you, Larry, for stepping in to that role temporarily. Next, I wanted to know, do we have anyone from the Community Engagement Committee on at this time?
Commissioner Hawkins is not here, so they will not be able to report.
Thank you. So no report for community engagement. All right. So how about recruiting activity, Mr. Larry Keeler?
Oh, recruiting activity, as you see, it's gone very well. I'd like to welcome our new commissioners, Commissioner Packard and Commissioner, what was her last name?
Chambers.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, Chambers, yeah, Commissioner Chambers. I was trying to remember that. I remembered your first name, but I'd like to welcome them officially to the commission. And as you see, we had our other interviewee on there, and that vote's coming up soon enough to send her on. So we got that, and we've got another. I have another member who said another candidate who sent their application in, but so far it either hasn't got or whatever, that they're having problems. But I'll have to get back with them and see what's happened. So our recruiting committee is doing all right so far. We're doing pretty good.
Good. That's awesome to hear. And boy, my goodness, all the things I'm going to touch on in the chair report, others are also touching on here. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna say more on some of the other things that you mentioned, Larry. Absolutely. And great job to you and our recruitment committee for the job that they're doing. Absolutely.
And to you as well, because between you and I, we've conducted a few interviews in the last few months, haven't we?
Well, thank you. We're doing our best. Absolutely. All right. Well, and don't go anywhere, Larry, because
I'm here.
Because now I'd like to request the Transportation Commission update.
I'm here and ready, and I don't know why I didn't take a lot of notes, because I guess there wasn't a lot of stuff that was new. You know, there's still a lot of construction projects going on, and our consent agenda was approved. Our public comment. And of course, it's a year late, but I got welcomed to the Transportation Committee by one of the people in public comment. And then they wanted, I got this Kirk Westfall, former council member, wanted to get rid of all the multi-lane highways where there's a lot of traffic, multi-lane roads which are coming through. He wanted to get rid of them, and we're trying to make safe crossings on 23. I've never tried to cross 23, but if you could make a safe crossing there, go ahead and do it. And then there was an amendment to that particular resolution, and that was carried. The resolution also there's a resolution to amend bylaws, and that was to review and amend bylaws, and that was passed. And here's something about reviewing Granville traffic calming, that passed. And then speed management. Again, they're always working on speed management, and road diets mentioned other traffic concerns. So basically, they're still working on narrowing roads and slowing traffic through the city, making things more safe. I have some disagreements with that, but they're personal ones. But that's what our report says. So. Okay. That's it. And if you want me to take this later on to the commission, the sidewalk thing that we were talking about, I will do that. I will mention the ideas that if you have any ideas you want me to mention, we have at the end of our meeting, we have a commission report where different commissions and representatives of commissions can report either what they are doing or what they'd like to bring up. And so far, I plan to bring up what I had talked to Councilman Edwin about. And if you have any other things to that, you can add to that. I don't have to know till the meeting's over. So if you guys have anything to add, you could do that before the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. I do appreciate it. We do have a couple of questions. So I'm going to start with Commissioner Solomon first, and then I will go to Commissioner Packard, and then Commissioner Ratcliffe also just raised her hand, Kennedy. So we'll go with Commissioner Solomon, Commissioner Packard, and then Commissioner Ratcliffe. Go ahead, Commissioner Solomon.
Larry, thanks for that report. I have a question and a comment. The question is about the status of Kirk Westfall, who I believe used to be a liaison to this commission, and as far as I know is no longer an elected official, was voted out. So could you clarify his role in this meeting?
He was a formal I don't know what he does now. He was in public comment. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. He was a former councilman. I'm not exactly sure what he does now. He was in he responded in public comment though, and mentioned he was mentioning the crossings on 23. Part of what he was mentioning, and the other thing he mentioned was the road things that I was talking about. But no, he's not as far as I know, he's not a councilman anymore, but I don't know what he does.
Well, I think this piggybacks, which is to say that this whole notion of road diets is a disability issue, because bicycling is not a disability friendly form of transportation. And the way that this city keeps privileging bicycling is problematic, and it needs to be pushed back on every single chance we get. And to have a former council person presenting some asinine proposal is really problematic. So I just want to flag the issue of road diets as a disability unfriendly measure, which I believe this commission needs to speak on every time it comes up for discussion. It's incredibly problematic, and it's the source of so much of the city's resources going into unnecessary construction projects. Again, I'm speaking as a public citizen right now.
I also agree with that. I mentioned that to the Transportation Commission. I also mentioned that with the way that they're working, public transportation very often has a hard time dropping off people with disabilities as well. With the things they're doing with the roads, putting in the bike lanes and cutting down making the road diets, it's very difficult for ATA people to make bus stops, and it's also very difficult for A-ride vehicles to come in and drop off some of the people they're dropping off, because they can't get close enough to the curbs, and they can't get to good accessible places to let the ramps down and let them out. So I'm bringing that to the commission, to the Transportation Commission, as often as I can.
Thank you, Larry. I think it's very important that we continue stressing that point and pushing back on this bicycle mania.
Commissioner Packer?
Just the point of the accessible crossing for 23. I'm assuming that's a bridge that they would be proposing. There's a walking bridge, I believe, over US 23 near where I live, by Mill Creek Apartments. I'm not sure if that was, you had asked, you weren't sure what that was, safe crossing for 23. I just thought I'd ask if maybe that was
that might be it. I'm not really sure. It's like, who crosses 23?
Yeah. But it's a nice crossing, this area where I live, near off of Mill Creek Apartments. If anyone wants to look at it, it's a pedestrian area. It's kind of an experience standing over US 23 pedestrian
What
area.
street is on?
What was that?
What street is it crossing on? What street is it crossing on? Because I'd actually like to go investigate it.
Mill Creek Apartments. There's kind of a disc golf course in that area, and then if you walk the trail, there's a path, and it goes over US 23. You can walk right over
Mill Creek Apartment.
Nearby that area.
Okay, I can get there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Radcliffe?
Hi. Well, two things. The first is about US 23 and the crossings. It was actually part of a city council resolution, and attached to for Monday night and attached to the agenda is a map that shows the specific crossings for US 23 and where they are in Ann Arbor. I know that we have several over in my area near Arborland, because you're talking about where people get on and off the freeway when they're driving. And ours over on this side, it has like a stop sign that you can't tell if as the driver you're supposed to stop or if as the pedestrian you're supposed to stop. Either way, no one actually really stops at that one. And so it is definitely an accident waiting to happen over there. And so um, it is an actual problem that coincides with Ann Arbor's Vision Zero plan for zero car accidents. Um, and then for the cycling, I just want to bring up that cycling unto itself isn't inherently disability unfriendly. From It's the way that we're implementing policies and infrastructure here within the city. There's a lot more going on in other countries that are really taking into consideration not just was it quote unquote, I guess, quote unquote, able-bodied people in terms of the cycling and cycle lanes, but also people who do have mobility issues or disabilities, those who use bicycles and those who do not. And so I think that we do kind of need to be a little, as a city, not saying like in in anything else, but just as a city, I think that it definitely does need to be planned a lot better in terms of how they're building in the cycling infrastructure, and also the consideration of who is cycling, because none of it's built for people who use any sort of accessible cycle, whether it's a trike or any other kind of cycle. That's it.
Commissioner Radcliffe, this is Zach. I just wanted to thank you for that, and just to echo the comments of Commissioner Solomon that these road diets and things like that, we need to ensure that as they are, planning these road construction and that the bicycle lanes are talked about, that this doesn't impede, curb cuts. This doesn't impede ramps. This doesn't impede sidewalks. Anyway, thank you.
Commissioner Chambers?
Yeah, so I agree with everything that's been said. I definitely would echo Commissioner Solomon's points, regarding sort of the emphasis. I mean, on one hand, I understand, the emphasis on bicycles, being a more inaccessible mode of transportation for, more reasons than one, I think, as someone with a cognitive disability who, that's not available to. And I also understand sort of the other side of that argument with regard to mobility aids and accessible, use of accessible kind of vehicles in that sense. With regard to the transportation or the construction and how that is sort of impacting transportation, one thing that I, just wanted to bring up as someone with a lot of cognitive disabilities is I'm wondering is if there's been any conversation surrounding having either additional or more clearly marked detours when, drivers do come up against these construction sites, because I know that, as someone with a lot of spatial and directional challenges, I have, found a lot of situations where I, my GPS maybe has not caught up to the different construction sites. And I'm wondering if there's been any conversation as to like how to address that, how to implement more, formalized detours or anything like that. I understand it's a complicated issue and, that might be easier said than done, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Larry, do you have any response to Commissioner Chambers' question? I think, it raises a great question to those that, again, face those challenges that Commissioner Chambers mentioned, as well as, the issue with GPS. I've noticed that as well, that at times that GPS can lag, and you're going down a lane, and at some point you have to make a decision. So, any expansion on that?
I haven't heard anything on that particular part. I can bring it up though.
Yeah, I mean, if it is able to be brought up, I think that might be something, that could be addressed. I understand though that there are a lot of considerations with everything going on with transportation. So if it is something that could be addressed, I think that would be beneficial for a lot of us.
What type of, really quick, Commissioner Chambers, like what kind of additional directions for the details would be helpful?
So I think just a little bit more signage with regard to the alternate routes when there is a major street that is closed, especially when it comes to the ones that are frequently used, as sort of the main roads in town. I just think that some additional direction for those of us, I mean, for myself, I don't have a clear map of the city in my head because my disability really prevents me from being able to map out those spatial distances. So I think just a little bit formalized signage or direction on the part of, just in general, I think could make a huge difference if that's possible.
Okay. Yeah, Larry, if you wouldn't mind bringing that to the attention of the Transportation Commission, that would be great.
Commissioner Moses?
Thank you, Kennedy. I wanted to add another layer to the conversation with regards to 23 at Washita. So I don't have a lot of detail, but I do know that that area is owned by MDOT. And right now MDOT is investigating reworking that entire area, the on and off ramps and replacing the bridge and all of that. And so those conversations will be happening. I don't know how they are not having public involvement, but that particular area, to my knowledge, is not under the city's purview because it is an MDOT area. So we should probably keep our head to the ground in terms of listening for when those engagements are coming up so that we can lend our voice to the disability part of it. And I agree wholeheartedly. There is no way in heck I would ever walk down Washtenaw and cross all of those different on and off ramps. You're right, Rosanita. There is no clear direction and signage that says, oh, this is for the pedestrian to stop, or this is for traffic to stop. So it makes it very hazardous. So I'm hoping that is all going to be corrected under whatever their new plan is.
Thank you.
Commissioner Nozak, did you hear that? Two things. I'm adventurous and I wouldn't do that either. But did you also see that, I should have mentioned it earlier, that it seems that MDOT has addressed the issue of the off-ramp down there by, on 94 down there by Ann Arbor Saline? Is that issue that MDOT has supposedly addressed your issue? And
yes.
that they're supposed to be working on that?
So what I did is the person who came to us with that concern, Mr. Warner, he actually was able to, he brought an issue to the PIA about the crossing there at 94 and Ann Arbor Saline Road. And the PIA was beginning work on it. And then he was able to self-advocate, and MDOT is working on extending the length of time, but also making the light stay red and giving a lead time to people who are crossing. Currently, what happens is I think you only have like 10 seconds to cross that little area.
I think he said 7.
So it is being worked on, and that was taken care of by the person who made the complaint themselves, but MDOT is aware.
I'm glad they jumped on it so fast. Not my experience that they jump on things so quickly, but there's that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely a positive thing for our community.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut this off, but we do have to move forward. If there are any other questions that commissioners have, I encourage them to send those questions along to Commissioner Keeler so that he can then present those questions to the Transportation Commission. But at this time, I'd like to move us forward here. Moving on, we now have the University of Michigan Council for Disability Concerns meeting update with Commissioner Solomon.
So I have to apologize. I was unable to attend the meeting due to a disability related schedule conflict. So I contacted the chair to share slides with me so that I could report to this body. The slides have not yet been shared. I can either do that at our next meeting or I can summarize by email, whichever the commission would prefer. I believe Kathleen also raised her hand.
Kennedy, you have
Yeah, I knew that I'm answering Matthew. I'm sorry. I was in attendance to the meeting and I reached out to Heather, who is the liaison with the Council for Disability Concerns, and attached to our agenda today is the actual minutes from that meeting. And then she's going to continue to reach out to Kennedy every month and send the updated meeting meeting minutes so that you don't have to take care of that piece yourself.
Great.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I'm happy to summarize on days that I'm present, and I plan to be present in the future, but that's great to know. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Kathleen, to Matthew, and Kennedy for all of your assistance on that. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Moving on to the report for with the Director of Organizational Equity with Laura Orta. Is Laura on this afternoon?
Laura is not here. However, Tracy is here. So Tracy, if you would like to report on this section, you may.
Well, I know I'm unmuted, but I tried to pull my video. Good afternoon. Actually, I was not informed that I would be reporting anything from the DEI office today, so my apologies for being unprepared for that.
No problem. No
A great
worries.
way to start coming to the commission, right?
No. That's okay. Don't worry about it. And I will reach out to Laura to see if there's any additional things that the commission should be aware of. What I'd also like to state for the record is that if the Director of Organizational Equity will not be attending our meeting, that they send any information and or a report to Kennedy and or myself ahead of time, and then we can possibly report that information for them in the future. But no worries. Thank you, Tracy, for your comments, and thank you to Laura for being a loyal supporter and colleague of the Commission on Disability Issues. Next, I'd like to move forward to the City Personnel Report with Kennedy.
Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure that my camera was on so you all can see me. At this time, no major updates. The only update that I do have to share is Police Chief Amy Metzer has released to the public and has announced her retirement from the Ann Arbor PD. And today was the coffee hour for her retirement and to acknowledge her and her 25 years of service with the city of Ann Arbor. Police Chief Amy Metzer will be retiring at the end of this month from the Ann Arbor PD. In the meantime, the search for the police chief is still occurring. In the meantime, there is a new interim police chief, Patrick McGurr, I believe I'm saying his last name right, will be the acting interim police chief once Police Chief Amy Metzer enter employment here with the city. And so that is the only update that I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Kennedy. This is Zach. I have one quick question. If there are any future retirements or coffee hours within the city with individuals that have worked directly with Kodai, can I request the city forward that to us?
Yes. So if there are any more retirements or any more communications about those retiring that individuals have worked with the commission, I am happy to forward that to the commission so the commission can attend.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. And to Amy Metzer, who has done a wonderful job, definitely been supportive of us and our efforts, and also making sure that officers have disability resource cards on their routes, understand the importance of training and making sure that they are dealing with residents and individuals that they encounter in a fair and equitable manner. I wish them all the best. And again, just echo Kennedy's comments of the wonderful service that they have done. And I have no doubt that as these other candidates come in for a new police chief, that the city will do the best job that they can to select the best candidate. All right. With that, I move on to the chair report. I do apologize. It is flashing to me that my connection is unstable. So if my audio does cut out, I do apologize. For my chair report, the first thing I wanted to report was a welcome and congratulations. As it was mentioned a little bit earlier, we have two new commissioners joining us today for their first meeting. We have Miss Elena Chambers joining us and Mr. Rob Packard. And, I want to say to both of them, welcome. And I'm very, very excited and enthusiastic about the great assets that they can be to our commission and to help support our mission of making our city inclusive and equitable for all. So to both of you, congratulations on your appointments. And I am extremely excited to welcome you. And I just want to encourage both of you that now that you are appointed commissioners, please feel free at any time to reach out to myself and or Kennedy for anything that you need going forward as far as the commission is concerned. And welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Your positive attitude.
Absolutely. Well, and then also, I am so excited to report. I had sent an introductory email earlier with the exciting news of our Ann Arbor City accessibility coordinator, and I am overjoyed that Ms. Tracy Bird has been named to that position and also is joining us on the meeting this afternoon. I have to say that I am just, cannot say enough about Tracy and her commitment in making sure that individuals are treated fairly and equitably, but that also making sure that they are treated with a smile and with a positive demeanor. Personally, I can say that I think Tracy is a great fit for this history-making position, as this position is new and has never been a part of the city before. So I also want to commend our entire commission for their efforts in helping with crafting the accessibility coordinator position with the city of Ann Arbor, also with the commission's efforts in making sure that they were consistent about advocating for this position, that it be something that happens. And then lastly, I'd like to thank Laura Orta again, the Director of Organizational Equity, for their efforts in helping us to make the city accessibility coordinator position a reality. So with that, welcome to Tracy Bird. And Tracy, the floor is yours if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you first of all, thank you for that the lovely email that you sent out. I knew I was coming this evening, so I wanted to thank you publicly for your kind words and for your support of this position. And I do look very forward to working with all of you. I have started reaching out in the community already. This is my third week. Yesterday was the start of my third week here. So I have reached out to a few different organizations and individuals, and it is my plan to work very closely with you all, and maybe also within different organizations that you work with too. So I am very excited to be a part of this and to be partnering with you. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me this evening.
I would also like to welcome Tracy, and I was waiting for a month to tell her that you don't get out of working with me yet. because we tease each other on occasion when I go through when I used to go through Blake, and you still get to work with me, and I'll be very, very happy to work with you, Tracy. I'm very happy to see that your position is not only well needed, but I think you'll do a very good job.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your confidence in me.
Zach, I was reading your great email introducing Tracy Bird to us at this morning's housing summit when I looked up and there was Tracy Bird herself right in front. I was just reading that, and I've spoken with, as you know, Tracy, with A-Ride, and thank you and appreciate having you on. Great addition. Thank you.
Wonderful. And you're quite welcome, Rob. Commissioner Solomon, you have a question, comment?
More of a comment, a welcome. We worked really hard to get this position, and so exciting to see it filled by such a capable individual. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And Matthew, thank you so much. Absolutely. Very exciting. Very exciting. I know we're going down the line here. So Council Member Edwin already did their update. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward to old business. Do we have any old business today?
No old business listed on the agenda at this time.
Okay. Any new business to discuss?
Commissioner Mozak?
Yeah. Oh, God.
You're on mute, Kathleen.
I sure am. Sorry about that. So earlier, Councilwoman Edwin was talking about the summit that was this morning with regards to housing. And one of the issues that came up that I discussed was how we silo our information here within the city of Ann Arbor. And it got me looking at our webpage where we list our resources. We have city resources, and then we have other resources that are listed. And I noticed that we do not have things like fair housing. The Ann Arbor Housing Commission is there, but fair housing is there. Hawk is not there. Safe House is not there. And so I'm thinking, and I'm wondering if we might find it valuable to take a second look at those resources, either in a committee or something like that, to make sure that all the resources that we can think of are available, because the resources that are there are absolutely wonderful, but people who are disabled also suffer domestic violence. People who are disabled frequently have issues with fair housing. People who are disabled are frequently homeless and need the benefit of Hawk. And so I just wanted to raise it to the commission that if you guys would find that valuable, that maybe we should take a look at what is currently on our website and how we can enhance it.
That's a great point, Kathleen. Kennedy, you had a comment?
Yes, and it is to Commissioner Mozak's concern. So as the 14th Commission Office Manager for CODI, I am also the kind of like, would you say, gatekeeper of the Commission's website. And I am the one who kind of edits and changes and updates the website. So if you would like any additional information on resources to be provided on the website, I'm happy to implement them on there and put them on there, whether it be a link or any information that the Commission sees fit to go on the website for others to be able to provide them with resources and additional services.
That's wonderful, Penny. The reason I'm bringing it up here to the commission is I don't feel that any one person like myself should be able to come to you and say, I want this on the website. That's why I wanted the commission to explore what is already there and what they feel might be valuable to add. And then that way we as a body could inform you versus just me saying, I think it needs to be there, because I don't think that's
Correct.
fair. So,
yeah. So yeah, if the commission would like to review the website and schedule a meeting, I'm happy to do so with any commissioners who would like to take part in reviewing the information on the website and kind of
I can't hear you anymore, Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy, I think you cut out there. Whoops. Kennedy, I think you're having some connectivity. It's a busy time of day. Let us know if you're good to go. But no, I think that would be fine. How do you all feel if you know, we set a time to meet with Kennedy, and then we can send all of our suggestions uh, to to her so that we can have a meeting and address all of them. I think we want our site to be accessible. We want it to be up to date, and we want viewers to be able to access it.
I have a suggestion that we make that a couple of that we have maybe not a committee meeting, but a sort of a meeting and get together and pool our resources, because some people may some of us may have resources that others don't have, and that we work on that, and then we put a list of the resources that could be updated on there. And that way, when we just put them all on there and get it done in one swoop, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that could definitely be an option. I think meeting with Kennedy and doing that could be beneficial. I agree with you, Larry. Commissioner Ratcliffe, you had a question?
Is this something that we have to do a motion with? Because I mean, I agree, and I just want to say thank you, Commissioner Mozak, for bringing that up, especially the part about experience, how people with disabilities experience domestic violence as well. And then for
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
was the suggestion like just a meeting, or was it a like kind of like a spreadsheet and then a meeting? I was
so just to clarify, Commissioner Ratcliffe, what I think should be done is, you know, um, we compile some suggestions, and then we set up a time to meet with Kennedy to be able to go through those suggestions, um, to be able to make sure that our website is as accessible as possible. Now, how we do that, I mean, I'm open to suggestion, whether it's a Google Doc and we all just input some ideas, or whether at the meeting we brainstorm those ideas with Kennedy. Either to me I think is sufficient. I think the key is making sure that our website is accessible as possible. I mean, as far as I know, you know the city is quote unquote redone their website, but when you look at our website or you look at the city's website, is it completely universally accessible? Are individuals who are blind, are they able to access our website efficiently? Are others who have other disabilities, are they able to access our website efficiently, and can they navigate it? I think those are some real important questions, in addition to the resources that Commissioner Mozak brought up. So I think it's important that we have as many resources organized as possible, so that if individuals with disabilities are looking for different resources, such as the ones that Commissioner Mozak alluded to, they can have access to it. But I also think on a larger scale point, it's also more important to make sure that our website, as well as the city's web infrastructure, is excuse me, as accessible as possible. And so I also encourage us to not only note resources that we think should be included on our disability resource page, but also talk about some accessibility options that need to be improved on our website, as well as possibly in the city, so that those can be put forth to the city and they can be made aware of those. as far as the process to do that, I don't think there necessarily be a motion to do that of any kind, Commissioner Ratcliffe. I think, mainly it's just about, you know, meeting and, starting to, either form that Google Doc or, you know, coming to the conclusion of how we're going to start it and then set up that meeting with Kennedy.
I would suggest further discussion next month. I would suggest leaving some time for further discussion, and people can bring their choices and ideas to the meeting. And then if there seems to be a lot more, then we could form some kind of temporary subcommittee to take care of it. I think we could probably do it within 15, 20 minutes. We could set up the framework for whatever we're going to do in the next meeting. So I would be in favor of just setting agenda time next month to introducing the new resources and addressing this issue.
Okay. I'm definitely comfortable with doing that as well, and I think that's a good idea, Larry. I think being able to put additions to the website in terms of resources, but then also addressing accessibility. I think, yeah, that's a great idea. Hi, Kennedy. Welcome back. You had your hand up.
Yes, I am so sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what happened here at the city, but the internet was just down for a couple of minutes. So I do apologize about that. But I'm here and I know the recording, I was not able to hear the conversation, but I'm sure I can rewatch and catch up. I wanted to let you all know that I am back.
Thank you, Kennedy. And just to quickly summarize, we were just talking about the website, meeting with you to discuss resources that we think should be on the website, accessibility for the Kodai website, as well as the city web infrastructure entirely. And then Larry, go ahead.
Yep, so I'm open to any ideas you all have for the website. Tracy, if you also would like to help and assist with the website as well, I'm happy to bring you into the meeting as well. We always love the assistance. So if you guys would like, I can send out an email to the commission. I'm just going over, in hopes of scheduling a meeting for everyone to meet. If everyone would prefer to meet on Zoom, I'm happy to schedule a Zoom meeting so we are able to all come together and discuss the best attributes and resources for the website. Commissioner Mozak?
I do have a question about the Open Meetings Act. If we have a meeting and there's more than a quorum there, how would that work? I just want to make sure that we're doing everything legally.
Right. So as it pertains to commission business, if you would like this to fall under commission business, then yes, there is the Open Meeting Act. We will have to do like a special meeting. It can, be then I believe have to be in person. I will have to double check. But like I said, if you would like to classify, bless you. If you like to classify it as commission business, then yes, because of the Open Meetings Act, it would have to have quorum and be in person.
Thank you for answering.
Yeah, thank you, Kennedy. I think that's the best idea, folks. If we can set a meeting with Kennedy and brainstorm, our ideas into a document, I think that would be beneficial. And absolutely, I agree with your point, Kennedy. If we can include our accessibility coordinator, Ms. Tracy Bird, in that conversation of our website, what needs to be included in terms of resources and accessibility on the Kodai page, as well as the entire city web infrastructure to make sure that it's accessible as possible. I think that can be a very productive meeting.
Okay.
Anything else for? Yeah, sorry. I was going to say anything else for new business?
Yes. Yes, there is. There's one thing we haven't mentioned. I think we need to vote on whether to send candidate Schmerl through.
Yeah, we can do that. I was going to see if we wanted to do that today, or if we wanted to do that, put that on an agenda item for next month. But are all of you comfortable?
I would do it as soon as possible.
Sure. Okay. Well, so are you making a motion, Larry, to vote?
I move that we vote on sending candidate Schmerl in why am I twisted words? Her application through the city council.
Well, here's the thing, though. We can't vote until.
I'm about to log. I'll just leave the meeting now.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So now, Larry, because the candidate is offline, now we can sort of.
Well, I made the motion, so now it can be seconded.
Yes. Okay. Is there a second?
Maybe.
I'll second.
Okay, Kathleen seconds. Okay. All in favor of voting in candidate Schmerl for her application to be approved by the commission and moved on to city council for approval. Please unmute and say aye.
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 Okay. Wonderful. Thank you,
And the reason, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just had something to say. The reason I brought that up is because I figured that instead of waiting till next month when a candidate comes through, voting on that candidate, the information, the idea of the candidate being there, seeing the candidate, talking to the candidate is still fresh in one's mind. And if you wait till next month, it's not as fresh in your mind. And that's how we used to do it. So.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. I do appreciate it. Commissioner Solomon, you have a comment?
It's a question really procedurally about maybe following up on something Kathleen brought up at the beginning, which is to say that this is all public record. So this vote is completely open. Is that the way this is intended to play out? Again, the vote was unanimous. This candidate, there's absolutely no question about. I'm just curious about the logistics and the protocol of voting in this context. If somebody
that has been
I can answer that question for you. So because the commission meets virtually instead of being required to meet in person, votes like this can be made.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
because when I
So
Go
what
ahead,
was your
Kennedy.
question, Commissioner Solomon?
I just didn't understand the response that you gave, Kennedy.
Oh, I was saying, so because this commission is not required to meet in person, and the commission meets virtually, and this is a commission meeting and you all are handling commission business. So commission business as in like voting for new commissioners and things like that is allowed. Does that clarify your question?
I think it was the public nature of it that I found a little bit awkward, not in this case, but perhaps in another case. And I'm just trying to remember how it was done in person.
Okay. What I could do is I can look into it and send you a follow-up.
Now, I'll let you know over the history of the commission. I've been on this thing since 2011. And when I was voted in, I was there. I was there in the audience. I was there in the audience seat. And then after I was voted in, I moved up to the commission table. Not after I was voted in, but as soon as my application came. But I was there to see what the commission vote was, because like Commissioner Solomon said, it personally, it really doesn't make any sense either way, because you can look and see if you had issues, you could look and see who voted for you and who didn't anyway on the tape thing afterwards. So I never, I mean, it's not been a strict procedural thing to have somebody leave the room or whatever. Some chairs have done it, some haven't. There was also it used to also be a secretive vote for the chair and vice chair of the commission, but that has become less secret as well. It just depends on, I guess it depends on who's in charge. And the bylaws don't say anything specifically about it, except that so many commissioners are supposed to vote.
Thanks very much for that.
All right, thank you. And Commissioner Solomon,
Hold on.
go ahead, Larry.
I'm trying to mute. I got somebody at my door.
Okay. Typically when I've been on the commission, candidates were not present, and it was kind of a something that was done not necessarily in front of the candidate. When I was appointed, I do not recall being present for that particular vote, and then I was notified afterward. But thank you, Larry, for that perspective, and we'll clarify, and we'll get the facts for everyone. Thank you. But for time, I do want to move forward to communications. Kennedy, do we have any communications at this time?
No communication items on the agenda. If commissioners do have any communications at this time, they may address them. I see Commissioner Ratcliffe. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just found out this over the weekend that tonight's county commission meeting, which you can find at washtenaw.org, is going to address part of the housing crisis in Washtenaw County and how the county plans to handle it in the future. And so if anyone's interested, it starts at 7:00.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Do appreciate it. All right. Any other communications at this time? Okay. All righty. At this point, it is now 5:45. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
I should have sounded so enthusiastic. Sorry.
No. Is there a second?
I will
will second that.
Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, okay. I'll second that.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Commissioner Pankert seconds. All in favor of adjourning at 5:45 today on Wednesday, October 18th? Unmute and say
Aye.
Aye.
all right. Well, everyone, this meeting is adjourned. I want to thank you all very much for your contributions and discourse today. I think we brought up some very, very important points. So thank you very much. And I will see you all next month.